Thank you for joining us to learn more about how ReadSpeaker supports digital accessibility plans. My name is Karen Phinney, and I'm the Director of Business Development here at ReadSpeaker. And prior to joining the company, I spent almost 20 years in the field of vocational rehabilitation and workforce development. While I held numerous roles across different organizations and state agencies, my primary focus has always been on workplace diversification, accessibility, accommodation, and of course, equal access. I'd like to start by sharing just a little bit about us. ReadSpeaker is a Hoya speech company, and we are a pioneer in text-to-speech technologies and voice-enabling content and have been for almost 20 years. Back in 1999, one of our founders, who is legally blind, sought a solution to support web content being read aloud, and ReadSpeaker was born. Our founders remain active to this day, and their commitment to premier text-to-speech technologies and services have made us the company that we are, with more than 200 human-sounding voices available in more than 50 languages that accommodate the unique needs of more than 5,000 global customers and millions of daily users. When you think back to when ReadSpeaker was launched back in 1999, a great deal has changed with technology. We have advanced our offerings to meet the evolving needs of both developers and end users. Today, we're going to be focusing on our core web reading products. But as you can see, we have multiple solutions to support speech-enabling digital content in all of its forms, to include documents, forms, emergency alerts, and educational content. Additionally, ReadSpeaker supports the principles of universal design. Now, for those of you who might not be familiar with UDL, it's an educational framework that is based on research in learning sciences, including cognitive neuroscience. UDL is intended to increase access to learning by reducing physical, cognitive, intellectual, and organizational barriers. Now, while it's been widely adopted in education, due to its success, it is now being utilized in corporate learning and overall web development. Now what I'd like to do is to provide you with a demo of our web reader and the customizable features available that will allow your end users to design their own experience and access your content in a way that is just right for them. So what I've done is I've gone to readspeaker.com, and this is the blog area of our website. Here you'll see our listen button. This is very easy to implement. It consists of three very easy lines of code in which you determine where you would like the listen button to be placed and where you would like for ReadSpeaker to start and stop reading. This listen button is also customizable, and so if you would like for it to have a similar look and feel to your website, you can do that as well. I just, to get started, just hit this listen button.
Hoya Speech scores highest in 2018 text-to-speech benchmarking.
And you can hear that was the voice of our Sophie. You've got the audio output as well as that simultaneous highlighting feature that's available. And so that does, remember earlier we talked about UDL. That does support the comprehension, retention, and recall of information. And just an example of that is feedback related to organizations that I work with where accuracy and form completion is important. They've noticed that their employees are spending less time working one-on-one with participants, that folks are able to get the information that they need in a way that is supporting accuracy and completion, which ultimately saves their teams time, money, and energy. Now here you can see I can hit the play button, stop. I can control the reading speed. I can control the volume. And we also have this feature here. Out of all the groups we can talk about when we discuss digital accessibility, one is the multitasker, and we either are one or we know one. But with ReadSpeaker, you have the ability to download content into an MP3 format so that individuals can listen to it on the go. So this is also a very popular feature set, especially with text-heavy content. A lot of groups I work with, just a couple of examples are around new procedures or policy documents. Now I have this listen button fully loaded for demonstration purposes, and what I'd like to do now is just to introduce you to a few of the feature sets. I've got the ability to enlarge text. I'm going to go ahead and click that button, and I'm going to hit that listen button
Hoya
again.
speech scores highest in 2018 text-to-speech benchmarking.
And you can see that at the bottom of the page, the text, while it's being read aloud, is also displayed in a large font size. I can enlarge that even further or bring that down as needed. We also have a simple text view. So what this is going to do is it's going to show content in a plain text format. So this supports individuals that might be easily distracted. Again, I can click that listen button and it's going to highlight the text and read it aloud. And I can also increase the font size or decrease as needed. With our new web reader, we also introduced our page mask. So this, again, is a support for some individuals that may benefit from masking other content, and I can increase or decrease as needed. And we have also integrated with Google Translate. Now, ReadSpeaker is available in more than 50 languages, and many of my customers have translated content on their website. There are others who do integrate with Google Translate. So if you are one, we can accommodate, I believe it's 17 of those languages. With our new web reader, we also included a word lookup. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a word. I'm going to click the word lookup, and you can see it will be defined. I can increase that font or minimize it, and it will also read it aloud.
1. Observer. Noun.
Now, lastly, this gear icon is going to open up all of my settings. And so as an end user, I can go in and I can adjust the reading speed. I can turn that highlighting on or off, or change what is highlighted. I can decide on sentences only, word only, or words and sentences. I can also decide what word, sentence, and text color is going to work best for me. We know that individuals with certain learning challenges absorb content when it is presented in a certain way, in certain colors specifically. And so, in addition to visual challenges, this also supports other end users that benefit from being able to manage their own text text contrasting. In terms of adjusting the text, I can now manage the text size, the font type, as well as text colors. I can turn scrolling on or off. I also have the ability to have a pop-up button, which is maybe I don't want to read everything on the screen, but if I highlight something, I want that listen button to appear. And so we have that capability as well. And then, of course, to restore back to original settings. But again, this here allows your end users to create their own tool to engage with your content. Now, these settings are also cached, so when they come back to your website, they're going to have the same experience. Now, what I've shown you here is our web reader product. We also have similar functionality that's available for documents as well as forms, and those are often bundled together as our web reading solutions.